Hello, gang. How about that weather, huh? Looks like we're currently seeing missile strikes on the horizon, with our predictions saying World War III might be in the forecast. Talk about climate change, huh? I hate this position I got myself into. America loves sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, and because of this, I have to keep researching the histories of other countries in order to understand what I need to do for my channel. You've guessed it, this episode is about an impoverished nation that we don't like. Spin the wheel. Wow, we must really hate poor people. I'm sure that our nature to mistreat people because of their own inferior buying capacity doesn't cause any internal problems for the United States. Let me give you a brief history lesson on Venezuela. In 1999, this man named Hugo Chavez was elected president and shifted Venezuela's economy to rely on oil export to support socialist programs that helped provide food, healthcare, and housing. Unfortunately, they had become reliant on food imports, and then in a fumble in 2003, they put limits on currency in order to prevent capital flight. Capital flight is an issue where more currency is moving out of a country than into a country. These laws ended up creating a food shortage in Venezuela. Then there was a push to industrialize, which made things uneasy as shortages only got worse. Then Hugo died and got replaced by Nicolas Maduro, who had the wonderful social policy of killing his own citizens to quell riots and protests, lying to his citizens and world governments that nothing was wrong, and turning away aid that was offered, all just to keep up his image. Bada bing, bada boom, and then poverty rate jumped to 95%. Emigration from the country became one of the highest in the Americas. Then, on top of sanctions put in place by the UN nations, their economy was basically doomed. And that left one form of international trade left for income to make its way into the state. They became part of the US drug trade. And Trump didn't like that. And obviously it's illegal, but he answered with a lot more than a Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. We committed a war crime. We dropped a missile on top of a speedboat that US intelligence had identified as a drug trafficking vessel, despite no clear evidence of a drug stockpile aboard, and had found them connected to an infamous Venezuelan gang, also currently no released evidence for this claim. Despite it all, though, the people aboard are still considered civilians. We killed a vessel of civilians, and bragged about it. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro accused the footage of being AI based on the unrealistic and insane nature of the strike, accusing Trump of trying to stir up a campaign against them to claim their riches, their large verified oil deposits. Also fun about the situation is that our intelligence had identified this boat as being on the way to Trinidad or somewhere else in the Caribbean. It was likely not even headed to the US, yet the Trump administration has accused them of narco-terrorism, threatening to poison US citizens, all as justification for their military action that cost the lives of 11 people. Which, sure, but our government's own definition of narco-terrorism is as follows. In third world countries, traffickers, terrorists, and insurgents may cooperate to a limited extent and are alleged to use funds obtained from drug trafficking to exert military, political, and economic pressure against countries in which they operate. Meaning that if this is how we designate it, then this both doesn't involve us and is also not terrorism. Now, Venezuela has put their militia into the waters to protect their people from the actions of the US, as a defense measure, as wars and invasions are on the table. In fact, invasion has been on the table since Trump's first presidency, which would be very scary since Trump has joked that during this video with Ukrainian Prime Minister that you can't have an election during a war, and if in 3.5 years down the road we happen to be in a war, then no more elections. Oh, that's good.
Elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake
You like this idea?
Yeah.
That is impossible with current laws. But by the time 2028 rolls around, who knows how much will be different. Also, I'm not entirely sure that just because That's not how it works. That would impede Trump. He's a well-known steamroller through checks and balances and criminal history. He's on the Epstein list, by the way. You're not allowed to forget that until it's released. The survivors are threatening to put together their own list based on their own eyewitness accounts of who assaulted them. I'll play the full clip here.
In the year 2000, I was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's island while on a photo shoot on a nearby island. Who I saw and what I experienced there was a glimpse into a very dark and disturbing world. For years after, I tried to avoid Jeffrey, but he had introduced me to Katie Ford, the owner of the Ford Modeling Agency. Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion, arts, and entertainment. This did not just happen to underage girls in Florida. In New York City, hundreds of young, ambitious women were abused by him. Epstein was not just a serial predator, he was an international human trafficker. And many around him knew, many participated, and many profited. And yet, he was protected. So I stand here today for every woman who has been silenced, exploited, and dismissed. We are not asking for pity. We are here demanding accountability, and I'm demanding justice. Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors? And also, I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
We cannot let things keep going as they are. We are better than this. We can protect people if we stand together. Thank you so much for watching, and stay a fan.